Act 3 of The Mind the Paint Girl by Arthur Pinero. This is a LibriVox recording. All LibriVox recordings are in the public domain. For more information or to volunteer, please visit LibriVox.org. The scene is Lily's boudoir, a room upon the second floor of her house, adjoining her bedroom. The decorations, though delicate, are gay with a good deal of pink in them. In the wall facing the spectator are two doors, one on the left, the other in the center. The left-hand door opens into the room from the landing, where the staircase is shown. The center door admits to the bedroom. In the right-hand wall there are two sash windows, giving a view of the tops of trees growing in a square. In the opposite wall, the grate hidden by a low painted screen, is the fireplace. A prettily designed fitment runs along the left-hand wall and the further wall, taking in the fireplace and doors as part of its scheme. On either side of the fireplace there is a cupboard with drawers beneath it. Between the door on the left and the door in the center is a similar cupboard, and on the right of the center door, extending to the right-hand wall, there is a wardrobe with sliding doors. The cupboard doors are glazed and curtained in pink silk. In the middle of the room, a little to the right, there is a large and comfortable settee, and on the left of the settee is a table littered with books, magazines, a scent atomizer, a small silver-framed mirror, a case of manicure instruments, a box of cigarettes, and a match-stand, and other odds and ends. Behind the table there is a full-tool stool, and on the right of the table a cozy armchair. A second armchair stands apart between the table in the center and the fireplace. On the extreme left of the room, on the nearer side of the fireplace, there is a box ottoman. On the other side of the room, by the nearer window, are a small writing table and chair. Standing across the right-hand corner, the keyboard. Towards the further window are a cottage piano and a music stool. And at the back of the piano there is another small chair with some soiled gloves upon it. A quantity of music is heaped untidily on the top of the piano. One of the wardrobe doors is open, revealing some dresses hanging within, and the edge of a lace petticoat with its insertion of colored ribbon peeps out from under the carelessly closed lid of the box ottoman. Two milliners' hat boxes are on the floor by the ottoman, and a pair of satin slippers are lying, one here, one there, under the center table. The window blinds are down, but the daylight is seen through them. The door on the left opens, and Lily, carrying her bouquet, enters and makes straight for the windows and draws up the blinds, letting in the clear morning light. She is followed by Enid, Gabrielle, Daphne, and Jimmy, and they by Farncombe, von Rettemeyer, De Castro, Roper, Fulkerson, and Bland. They are all pale and haggard, and slightly disheveled, but everybody seems broad awake, except Daphne, who is borne down by sleepiness. Some of the men are smoking. Lily laying her bouquet upon the table in the center as she crosses to the windows to the women.
"Come in, dears,"
drawing up the blind of the nearer window.
"Come in, boys. Take off your things for a minute."
Fulkerson, whose inebriety has reached the argumentative stage.
Working classes. Don't talk to me about working classes.
Hush! Shut up, Bertie.
I'm sick of a very mention of the name working classes.
Sit on his head, somebody. We shall wake Ma and the servants.
Lily taking off her wrap and hanging it up in the wardrobe.
"Don't worry. You won't wake my servants. And Mother's bound to hear us. She sleeps so lightly when I'm out."
Daphne gaping violently.
Oh!
Jimmy clapping her hand over Daphne's mouth.
Manners.
Fulkerson depositing his overcoat and hat upon the fauteuil stool.
One would imagine working much any person who ever does this work. Ridiculous.
Some truth in what Bertie's saying, though. For instance,
Fulkerson with great disgust.
British working men.
By Jove, yes. When I think of the work Mr. Lionel Hesketh Roper manages to dispose of in the course of a day.
Von Rettemeyer and De Castro have placed their overcoats and hats upon the chair at the back of the piano, and Farncombe, Bland, and Roper have piled theirs on the armchair on the left. Enid and Gabrielle throw their wraps upon the settee. Daphne drops hers upon the box ottoman, and Jimmy puts hers over the arm of the chair by the center table. Lily to everybody.
I'll just run upstairs and tell Mother that all's serene.
She goes to the door on the left. Farncombe, Bland, and Roper get in each other's way in their desire to open it for her.
If any of you want a drink, you must hunt for it yourselves in the dining room.
To Roper.
You play host, Uncle Lal.
She disappears, turning to the left and ascending the stairs.
Now then, give your orders, gents.
Coming forward.
Ladies, don't all speak at once.
Fulkerson making for the door.
I'll have some whiskey and soda.
He goes along the landing and down the stairs, Bland following him.
No, no, Bertie, Bertie.
Jimmy seated in the armchair by the center table. To Roper.
Stop it. We'll have trouble enough to get that boy home as it is.
Roper hurries out after Bland and Fulkerson. Von Rettenmeyer and De Castro also move to the door. Von Rettenmeyer to Enid, who is sitting with Gabrielle on the settee.
Enid?
A glass of soda water.
Same for me, Von.
Jimmy?
No, thanks.
Von Rettenmeyer looking down upon Daphne, who has curled herself up on the box ottoman and is already asleep, sentimentally.
Baby, baby.
Don't disturb her. Let her have her snooze in peace.
Von Rettenmeyer still contemplating Daphne.
Shall I bring you your bottle, you pretty little baby?
Don't be an idiot, Carl. Sam, will you fetch me some soda water?
I beg pardon.
He goes out with De Castro. Enid has taken the mirror from the table and now looks at herself in it.
What a sight!
To Gabrielle.
I wonder whether Lil would mind me going into her bedroom.
Gabrielle taking the mirror from Enid.
Of course she wouldn't.
Viewing herself with dismay.
Oh, I'm yellower than you.
She jumps up, throwing the mirror upon the settee, and goes to the door in the center. Enid follows her, and the two girls open the door narrowly and withdraw. Jimmy rises and picks up the mirror. Jimmy, with one knee upon the settee, surveying herself.
Oh, you lovely creature.
Glancing at Farncombe as she readjusts a comb and finding that he is gazing at her earnestly.
Turn your face to the wall, please. I'm about to use my puff.
Suddenly, with rapid movements, he shuts the door on the left, gives a quick look at Daphne, assures himself that the center door is closed, and comes to Jimmy. She stares at him in astonishment. Farncombe standing at the back of the settee in a low voice.
Miss Birch, you're Miss Peridot's friend, her great friend. Will you be a friend of mine too, and do me a service?
Jimmy startled.
It all depends.
Beg her to allow me to remain behind with you for a few minutes after the others have gone.
Remain? You and I?
And then, if she will you wait in the next room while I speak to her? Miss Birch, I must speak to her.
Wouldn't tomorrow?
It is tomorrow now. It's day.
Jimmy dropping her eyes.
She's tired.
5 minutes, no longer. Won't you try to arrange it for me?
Jimmy pursing her lips.
I'd stay, delighted. It doesn't matter how tired I feel.
I'm a brute.
But I really think the arranging is your job, Lord Farncombe.
I know I should make a bungle of it with all these people round me, and attract attention. You're clever.
Jimmy raising her eyes to his abruptly.
Look here. Do I guess correctly?
What?
She pulls him towards her and whispers into his ear. He nods. She whispers again, breathlessly, and then releases him.
Eh?
Farncombe drawing back and facing her firmly.
Yes.
Jimmy walking away in a flutter.
Oh, oh, oh.
You'll help me?
She pauses, deliberating.
You'll help me?
Jimmy returning to him with an air of prudence.
I tell you what I will do.
Pointing to the writing table.
Scribble her a note, a line, and I'll give it to her. That won't attract attention. I've no objection to do that for you. Hurry up.
He sits at the writing table and searches for writing materials.
In the drawer.
He opens a drawer and takes out a sheet of notepaper. Standing at the other side of the table, she selects a pen and hands it to him.
A J suit you?
Farncombe taking the pen from her.
What shall I say?
Well, I never...
He writes.
Oh, but it isn't exactly a love letter, is it? Simply say... What was the expression you used just now? Will you allow me to remain behind for a few minutes with Miss Birch after the others have gone?
Farncombe writing.
Thank you.
Jimmy with a little wriggle.
Call me Jimmy if you like.
Thank you.
Jimmy knitting her brow thoughtfully.
I suppose you ought to give her an inkling, though, the merest hint of the reason, oughtn't you?
Farncombe looking up.
Ought I?
Well, you don't want her to think it's only to chat about the weather.
For heaven's sake, don't chaff me.
Writing.
After the others have gone?
Biting his pen.
How would this do? I know I am presuming a lot, but I can't leave you. I can't leave you till I have asked you. Till I have asked you the most important question a man can put to a woman.
Oh, but that's ideal.
Gabrielle reappears.
Dash these girls.
To Gabrielle, whose complexion is much improved.
Lord Farncombe is writing me out a remedy for freckles. Isn't it sweet of him?
Gabrielle mournfully.
Freckles, if you want to see a martyr to freckles, come to my door.
Enid returns with lips that are a little too red, as von Rettenmeyer and De Castro re-enter at the door on the left. They leave the door open. Von Rettenmeyer is carrying a siphon of soda water and De Castro 2 tumblers. The men put the siphon and tumblers on the center table, and von Rettenmeyer fills the glasses, and he and De Castro hand them to Enid and Gabrielle.
I hope we have not kept you waiting.
Bertie's been making himself a regular nuisance downstairs.
Poor Bertie. Pity he has this little failing.
Yes, there is not a nicer boy in London than Bertie, bar that.
Flies to his head, though.
The four continue talking. Jimmy has gone back to Farncombe, who is still writing and is watching him impatiently. Jimmy to Farncombe under her breath.
Do be quick.
Hastily he blots his note and folds it. Bland, Fulkerson, and Ropin appear on the landing, issuing from the staircase, and they are joined by Lily, who comes down the stairs. Fulkerson on the landing to Lily, indignantly.
Lily, Miss Bertel.
Jimmy to Farncombe.
Here she is.
Roper to Fulkerson.
Now then, have it out with Lily.
What's wrong?
Farncombe rises and slips his note into Jimmy's hand.
Most justifiable treatment on the part of this gentleman.
Von Rettenmeyer listening with the others at the center table to what is going on upon the landing. Jimmy to Farncombe over her shoulder.
Good luck.
Bland to Lily.
The youth is irate with us for cutting off supplies.
Lily enters with Fulkerson, Roper and Bland following. Bland strolls over to the piano, laughing.
My argument is this. When a gentleman is invited by the lady of the house to partake of refreshment.
Be quiet, Bertie, or I'll box your ears.
Joining the group at the center table.
Oh, I've had such a wigging for asking you up. Mother says we girls will look as ugly as sin on the stage tonight.
So we shall, hags.
Lily sitting in the armchair by the center table.
I feel as fresh as paint.
To Gabrielle.
Give me a sip.
De Castro hands Gabrielle's glass to Lily. Fulkerson gazing at Daphne stupidly and singing to himself.
Oh, the girls, I will free follow the girls.
Be thy ebon blonde, of the gals I am fond.
Hush, hush. Ma's quite right.
Seating himself at the piano.
One more turn, and then let's clear out.
Lily jumping up.
Hurrah!
To Roper as Bland runs his hands over the keyboard.
Shut the door, Uncle Lel.
One more turn. Enid.
Dreadfully fond of the girls.
Roper closing the door.
Choose your partners, gents.
Very softly, Bland plays the melody of a languorous song, and instantly von Rettemeyer and Enid and De Castro and Gabrielle dance to it. Von Rettemeyer and Enid at the back, De Castro and Gabrielle near the piano.
Jimmy.
Jimmy passes Lily to go to Roper. As she does so, she presses Farncombe's note into Lily's palm.
Rat-tat, says the postman.
Catching hold of Roper and swinging him round.
La-ra-ra-la.
Lily to Farncombe, who is standing by the writing table.
Lord Farncombe?
Farncombe goes to her, and they dance together. Fulkerson to Daphne, tapping her on the shoulder.
Monsieur, may I have the good pleasure?
Shaking her.
Monsieur.
Daphne starting up.
Oh!
Looking round wildly.
Oh!
Fulkerson dancing with her.
Pray excuse the absence of gloves.
Oh! I thought I'd gone to bed.
With their hands on each other's shoulders, the couple, swaying from side to side, half sing, half murmur the refrain of the song.
If you would only love me, if you would merely say, wait but a little for me, I will be yours some day.
The refrain is repeated, the dancers droning to it with a buzzing sound, and then Bland returns to the melody. Lily, as she dances, recollecting the note she is holding and opening it.
What's this?
Reading the note, her arm resting upon Farncombe's shoulder.
Dear Miss Paradell.
Glancing at the signature.
Farncombe? From you?
Yes.
Lily reading.
Will you allow me to...
She reads to the end silently, and then she stops dancing, and they stand for a moment looking confusedly at each other. Then, with an expressionless face, she slips the note into her dress, and they dance again, singing the refrain as before. Bland at the finish, shutting down the lid of the piano and rising.
Ladies and gentlemen, the festivities connected with Miss Paradell's birthday are over.
Leaving the piano.
Our lives will now resume their normal, serious course.
The ladies put on their wraps, the men their overcoats, and there is a great deal of stir and chatter. De Castro assists Gabrielle, von Rettemeyer Enid, Fulkerson Daphne, and Farncombe Jimmy. Lily joins in the talk and bustle with forced animation. Jimmy and Farncombe glance at her, and then inquiringly at one another. Roper putting on his overcoat with Bland's help.
Well, nobody can say the affair hasn't been a brilliant success. That's one comfort.
Wouldn't be true if they did.
To De Castro, irritably.
You've got it inside out.
Lily to Enid and Gabrielle, kneeling upon the settee.
Ah, yes. Haven't we had a splendid time?
Splendid!
A charming party.
Absolutely A1.
Venus seinen Nacken beut, der dein Sklave Diensten bereit.
Lily running to Roper and seizing his hands.
A vote of thanks to Lal for his share in getting it up.
Bland slapping Roper on the back.
Bravo, Lal!